Greetings, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The World According to Waz. It's now Friday, April 28th, 2023, and I hope you're all doing well. It's Friday morning. I got a long weekend ahead of me. I got Friday off. It's been a while since I've done a podcast. It's been at least a week, and so much has happened since then. There's so many things in the news, and I'm going to touch on a few of those things today. Really quick, we got Tucker Carlson, of course, in the news. Let go by Fox News on Monday. And needless to say, Tucker Carlson was the big draw on the network. He had the largest cable news show in the history of cable television. More people watched him by far than anybody else. And the network is now suffering. You know, he's been gone since Monday. They've had somebody else in his spot. And by the numbers, it looks like about half as many people are watching now as they're watching when Tucker was on. And Tucker Carlson, whether you hate him or like him or what have you, he's obviously going to be okay. The man's not hurting financially. And he can basically write his own ticket because he is so popular. He has such a following. I don't see him going on the other news network. I don't see how he would fit in. He obviously wouldn't fit in somewhere like an MSNBC or CNN like that, or even in any of the conservative networks. I don't know if they would be able to pay him as much money as he's worth. I personally think his best route, if he wants to do this again, is to go his own way. Have his own show, maybe a podcast, a daily podcast, something of that nature, where he has complete control over his content. Maybe do so on Rumble or something like that. Maybe create his own platform. I don't know. Maybe this could be another venture for somebody like Elon Musk. You know, you got YouTube, you've got Rumble. Maybe they could create a new platform and, Tucker could be the main draw there. Who knows? But either way, regardless of what he chooses to do, he's going to be successful. I personally hope he comes back and he has some sort of show. He was one of the few people, maybe the only person, who would go against the narrative. Even most of the people on Fox News, they don't go against the narrative. He would bring up, topics in that the other shows wouldn't. He would often say the opposite of what other hosts on other shows on Fox were saying. And I personally like that. He spoke his mind, whether you agree with him or not. I admire that. I respect that. I respect people who speak their mind and tell it like it is, at least as far as they see it. I respect people like that, as opposed to someone who says what they think you want to hear. I look for that quality in politicians. Most of them will say what they think you want to hear. I'd rather listen to somebody who I disagree with politically, who speaks his or her mind and speaks the truth, at least as far as they can see it, as opposed to somebody who is more in line with my way of thinking, but is merely saying what he or she is saying, just because they think it's what I want to hear. There's one news story I want to talk about. It's actually an old news story, and that it's almost a week old. This one is dated April 21st, actually more than a week old. It's from CBS Miami, and the headline is Florida Gay Pride Parade Canceled After Anti-Drag Show Law Passes. And according to the story, a Port St. Lucie Gay Pride Parade has been canceled and other pride events have been restricted to people 21 years of age or older in anticipation of Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signing a bill meant to keep children out of drag shows. The Pride Alliance of the Treasure Coast posted Wednesday on Facebook that the decision to change the Saturday's Pride events was made after multiple conversations with Port St. Lucie officials. We hope that everyone understands that this is definitely not what we wanted, and we are working with the city to ensure the safety. We are working to assure our safety, as well as produce a positive event, the Post said. The Florida House sent DeSantis a bill Wednesday that bans children from adult performances, a proposal aimed at the governor's opposition to drag shows. The legislation, which awaits governor's signature, would allow the state to revoke the food and beverage licenses of businesses that admit children to adult performances. Now, the fact that they're canceling this gay pride parade because children can't attend, I mean, what does that tell you when it comes to, the allegations of grooming children in that? They're canceling it because kids can't attend. Think about that for a minute. I wish somebody would come out and ask them, say, well, it has nothing to do with grooming children. Then why do you insist that children be able to attend these adult-oriented shows, be drag shows or gay pride parades? Why is it so important that kids attend and participate in these events? Why is it that important to you? And they obviously can't answer that, because to answer it would either make them look bad, and that they'd have to come out and say that they want them there because, they want to groom kids, or they would have to lie and say they really don't want kids there, or they don't care if kids are there. But if that's the case, then why do you keep insisting on children attending these shows, these events? I mean, this is clearly about grooming. That's what it's about. If it wasn't, then why would they keep insisting that kids participate? These gay pride parades, I've never attended one. I've seen pictures and some videos of some in the past. Maybe you have as well. Marching down Main Street in whatever city they're in. And often many of these guys out there wearing virtually no clothes at all, strutting around with some sort of G-string on, with a little thing going up their butt crack and their bulge, being revealed, even though it's covered. It's almost like an R-rated movie, NC-17 movie, close, bordering on an X-rated movie. And they're upset that kids can't witness this stuff. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and this is just my opinion, but I personally believe that a lot of these people, there is something deep inside of them. I'm talking about people, transsexuals and whatnot, drag queens. The reason why that they want kids to attend these events is it's a way to get more and more people in the future to be accepting of what they're doing. I believe for a lot of these individuals, there's something deep inside of them that's eating away at them. You could call it their conscience. Maybe some would say it's a Holy Spirit. Something internally that's telling them, what you're doing here is wrong. There's something wrong about what you're doing, about changing your sex or acting a certain way, sexually maybe. Something eating away at them. So they're trying to drown that out by insisting that other people give them some sort of affirmation and help them celebrate their lifestyle. And the reason why doing this with children is so important is if you grab a child at a young age, it's much easier to get them to be accepting and that of your way of life when they get older, because they've grown up seeing this stuff and hearing about it and how cool it is and everything since they were a kid. And then these kids grow up to be adults and they have kids. And then we've got grooming and that going on in schools. These parents who were groomed themselves don't see anything wrong with it. They're like, well, I did the same thing. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's fine. It's no big deal. That's how this happens. That's how the left gets away with the things it does, how it makes progress. That's why these government schools are so important to them, the indoctrination that takes place there. That's why they fight so much against you homeschooling your kids or maybe sending them to private schools. They make it as hard as possible for you to do so because they know that if they can't get in the minds of these kids at a young age, they won't be able to mold them the way they want them to be molded. And they're a lot less likely to go along with their way of thinking. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm right? You can leave a comment here on the video in response to this video. You can email me, accordingtowaz@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this, my podcast, maybe this one or any previous ones, if you like them. You just want to say hi, I like what you're doing, or you want to say, hey, you suck, whatever, it's all good. Shoot me an email. Maybe you got a question, you want me to talk about something in the future, let me know. And I'm going to sign out. It's Friday morning. It's about 9:45 in the morning here in Southeast Michigan, is where I reside. It's going to be a cold, rainy day today. It's going to be in the low 50s, and it's supposed to be raining all day. And like I said, I got the day off, so I haven't been on Twitter lately much the past week or two, and I'm going to make up for it this weekend. Doing a lot of shout outs in that, follow trains, and I hope to do at least one more podcast this weekend. So I'm signing out today. This is Waz, and I hope you all have a good one.